Good day, everyone. It's always a pleasure to host this training webinars. So today we are excited to launch two new features: community keyword alerts and Spanish translation, or Spanish language support. So probably some of you know me from the last month's webinar. My name is Mahmoud Kabir. I'm the product marketing manager at Ready. With me, I have my colleague, John Paul. He'll be leading the demo today. Let's quickly move to the agenda. So today, as I said, that we are releasing two new features, the main one being community keyword alerts. So I'll do a brief intro to the feature itself, and then we'll talk about some of the use cases, not really use cases, but the value propositions that this feature provides you with. And then we'll move to the demo, how we can actually use the feature. And at the end, we'll briefly talk about the Spanish language support as well. At the very end, we'll do a Q&A session. You can ask questions then, or you can also pop into the chat box, or there's a Q&A feature in Zoom as well. You can ask questions there. So we'll try to answer as we go, or we will take pauses in between the demos, and then we can also answer then. So without further ado, let's start the webinar. All right, so as I said, the feature is called Keyword Community Alerts, and as the name suggests, so basically this feature will let you leverage the community channels, like all of you are familiar with different channels, mainly the community channels, to identify students' mental health and at-risk students with the use of certain preset keyword triggers. So what this means that community channels, they get really busy, and it's difficult to scour through all these different messages and track different messages in the community channels. So this feature will let you pre-configure certain keyword sets, as per your need. It doesn't only have to be about mental health. It can be about anything if you want to track certain keywords that are being talked about in the channels. You can preset those keywords, and then and once the keyword sets are set, then if a student or a user makes any post that contains any target keyword, this will send an alert to the community channel owner, right? So, and the alert will be in the form of an email. So of course, this will all make sense, more sense when John Paul will do the demo. But as a high level definition, this is what the feature is all about. And then, how you can actually get value out of this feature. What are the different benefits that we can get from this feature? So as I said, you don't have to manually scour through hundreds of messages. It will save staff time. It will save your time, and then you can easily, maybe spot risk elements earlier. Let's say, by the time you possibly identify something, it might get too late. But since this happens real time, the moment someone makes a post, you get an alert. So you can actually identify risk elements early, and then also make any sort of intervention that you like. And since the alert will also help you identify exactly the person who made the post, so that way you can extend personalized support to that person, right? So so this also gives you that ability. And finally, as I said, it doesn't only have to be about mental health. You can, with this feature, you can follow trends and recognize patterns. Because there may be certain things that are being talked about heavily by the students. You can recognize those patterns or trends easily with this feature as well. So as I said, this will all make sense when the demo is being done, and that's what we'll go to now. And then with that, I hand it over to John Paul.
Thank you, Kabir. and welcome everyone to today's webinar. It was my pleasure to demonstrate community keyword alerts to you. I'm really looking forward to showing you this great feature. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. Great. So our demo begins in the Campus Cloud community. I'm doing my demo on my test school, on my school where I do all my testing. My name, by the way, is John Paul. I'll introduce myself. My name is John Paul, and I am the team lead of quality assurance at Ready Education. So I work with the development team to make sure that the software we deliver to you is free of bugs and works as expected. For today's demo, I'm going to be showing you the feature on my test school. So you'll see here there are some generic names like Channel A, Channel B, Club 1, Club 2. These are all kind of generic names. You can imagine for yourself a channel about anything you want, a channel for financial aid, a channel for events around the campus. You can imagine anything that you want to go into today's demo, but for our purposes here, we'll be using some generic examples just to show how the feature works in general terms. Community keyword alerts. So the gist of the feature, as Kabir explained, is that when a user makes a post, when a student makes a post in a community channel, if that post contains a keyword that you define, then we're going to trigger an alert. And in this case, the alert is an email that goes to the owners and the moderators of the channel. So let's see what this looks like. We're going to start, this is the community. We're going to look at campus settings, and we're going to look at community settings. And what you will notice is that there is a new section in community settings, which is called community keyword alerts. And underneath this heading here, there is a list of alerts. I have set up a keyword alert for keywords having to do with colors. I have set up a keyword alert for keywords having to do with exams. And I have set up sort of a generic set of keywords for use in testing and in demos and so on. This is the list of the alerts that we have set up, 1, 2, 3. You can see next to each alert, there is a toggle switch on, off. So you can use this to turn an alert on or off. These are all on, meaning that when a student makes a post in a community channel, if their post contains a word that is in the associated set of keywords, and we'll see those in a second, then trigger an alert. And like we talked about before, the alert is an email that is sent to the owners and the moderators of the channel. So these are all on. Let's turn one off. Click to turn it off. And if you turn a keyword alert off, then no email will be sent. If a post is made that matches one of the keywords in this keyword set, if this toggle is off, you're not going to get the email. But if you turn it back on, now an owner or a moderator of a channel will receive notifications, alerts, when a post is made containing one of these keywords. So let's look at what's inside an alert. We're going to click the pencil icon to edit. So an alert has a set of keywords associated with it, and this is what we're looking at here. This is a set of keywords that I've called colors. So the set is called colors, and you can see there are a number of different keywords within this keyword set, and the keywords all have to do with colors. Let's look at a different one. Let's look at this set of keywords. So these here again are the alerts. We turn the alerts on and off. An example of where you might want to do that is like if you have keywords set up for exams and it's not exam time, you may want to turn these off, but you may want to turn them back on when exam time rolls around again so that you are more closely monitoring the community for words that have to do with exams. And here are some of the words that we might want to monitor around exam time, such as not sleeping, not eating, avoidance, procrastinate particularly, but maybe you don't want to monitor those all year round, and that's why you might want to switch this off, outside of exam time. Then exam time comes around, you can switch it back on. Let's look at the last set of keywords here, and we'll go a bit deeper on this set. So these are some words that I use in testing. I use them in testing because they're easy to search for. We can find them easily. Let's add another one of these unique English words to our list of keywords. So how do you add a new keyword to your keyword set? You simply type to add it. So I'm going to type another word here, and I'm going to put in my word. And I'm going to press the plus button. You can also press enter after typing your word. Type and press enter, and it has the same effect as clicking plus. Okay, we had 3 keywords before. We typed a new one, we hit enter, and we clicked plus, and we now added a 4th keyword. So that's what you see here. And we can remove it simply by clicking the X, and it'll go away like that. We can add it back. This keyword is not already in your set, meaning that we can press enter to add it. So there we go again. Now, what happens if we type characters from a keyword that already exists? So let's take this, let's take our previous example. If we type characters from a keyword that already exists, you can see here, Campus Cloud kind of pre-matches your word, and it tells you that you have already kind of typed this keyword, and if you continue typing the keyword, it's going to match it and tell you that you have already entered this keyword. You'll notice that the plus sign is disabled here, and also enter doesn't work. The gist of this being that you can't enter the same keyword twice. That makes sense. What are some other things to notice? You can have a maximum of 200 keywords, and there is a minimum length of 3 characters. You need to have at least 3 characters in a keyword for us to be able to do a match. And I've been talking about keywords here, but it's not just keywords. We can also have a key phrase. And a key phrase is simply more than one keyword separated by a space. So you type in your phrase, multiple words, press enter, and that's going to be captured as a key phrase. I'll show you what that looks like. So let's type in a few words here. And then if we press enter here, you'll see that we now have put in this kind of multi-word key phrase. It's in its own little box here. So this is treated, even though it's 4 words, it's treated the same way as these single words over here. So if any user were to type, any student were to type in alpha, beta, delta, gamma into a post and make that post, you'd get a keyword alert for this key phrase. And the way that we do this kind of matching is that you need to match character by character. It's just a straight letter by letter match. That's true for key phrases, and it's true for keywords as well. So again, I'm going to click X to remove this keyword, key phrase. And we can also save and cancel our changes here. So I'm going to just cancel. In the end, we didn't make any changes. I'll cancel, and then we're back in Community Keyword Alerts. I'm going to just take a quick moment and ask if there are any questions. Kabir, have there been questions in the chat while I've been talking?
Yes, there have been 2 questions. So although one has been answered, but let me still pose that to you. So even if the email feature is off, you can still search for the keywords list in the search box, correct?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Like even if the email feature is off, right? If the toggle is off, you can still search for the keywords list in the search box. Is that correct?
So if I turn this off,
right, and can you still search for the keywords list in the search box?
Even if this is off, if the keyword is off, if the alert is off, pardon me, then everything within this page here is still going to behave the way that it did before. You can still add keywords, add key phrases, delete them, change the name. But what's different is that this guy is going to actually be off, and you won't receive any alerts if someone types one of these key phrases into a post.
Yes. So it behaves as before. The only thing that won't work anymore is the alert itself. You won't get the email.
That's right. This controls the alert itself. So the alert is the email, and if this is off, then the channel owner or moderator will not receive the email. Right. But you can still manipulate the keywords in here, same as before, and also some of the other functionality that I'll demonstrate later will also continue to work. For example, you can do a search in the community for any posts that have a word that matches one of these keywords. And you can find all the posts within the community that contain these words. And that ability to filter based on this keyword set is independent of whether this guy is on or off. What this controls is the actual sending of the email. With this on, channel owner or moderator will receive the email alert.
Yeah, hope that clarifies. I see a few more questions coming in. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Can you decide which keyword set go to which moderator?
Which keyword sets go to which moderator? If you are a moderator of a channel or an owner of a channel, then if someone makes a post with one of these keywords, then you're going to receive, makes a post in your channel, then you're going to receive the alert. So basically you receive alerts for posts made within your channels.
So I guess maybe the question is, let's say if there are multiple moderators within the same channel, yep. Right? And then there are multiple keyword sets within the same channel, can they actually decide like which moderator will get which keyword sets?
No, if an alert is triggered, it's going to be triggered and sent to all
moderators.
All yes. The moderators and owners. Yep, that's right.
All right, so the next one is any restriction on character sets, different languages, special characters.
Excellent, excellent question. We're coming to that next. The long and the short of it is that accented or special characters are, well, why don't we demo that? Are there other questions before?
Yes, there are a couple of more. Okay. So the next one is, if we have key phrases, does do all the words have to be in the order listed or a combination of those words?
This is a straight character by character search. So it's going to compare character by character all the way down. And if it has a match, it's going to say match. And if we have here like word 1, word 2, and if, so it's going to, in order to determine whether or not to send the alert, it's going to really just scan down this. And in order to trigger the alert, it has to be a character by character match here. So if you were to have, for example, word 1, 2, without this middle word here, that would not trigger the alert because it would get this far. And then it would say, you know, no match beyond, don't send the email. If you wanted to have different word orders there, you might do something like this. But you do have to spell it out for the computer if you want to have this kind of, you know, different word order. And the same thing goes as well for examples like this, does not and doesn't, right? You can see that these are not an exact match with each other. So typing this one would not trigger this one, if you get my drift. Does that answer your question?
Christina, if you need more clarification, do let us know in the chat. But I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next one. Is this case sensitive? Are multiple spaces between keywords matched or treated as one?
Is this case sensitive? This is case insensitive. For example, here I can put whatever case I want, and it's going to be treated as a string match. So here, for example, I can't add this because as far as the computer is concerned, we already have this added. There was a question as well about special characters, and now's a good time to answer that because special characters such as, let's say, an accented character, like an accented A, the way these are treated is you just imagine that there's no accent on the character, and the computer will then match as if there were no accents on the character. So here I have an accented A and an accented E, but when the computer does its string match like this, it's going to ignore the accent on the A and say, so far, so good of a match. Whoops. And it's going to do that right till the end. It's going to ignore the accent on the E, and it's going to treat this as a match. So if we set this up as a keyword and a student types this will trigger an alert. So basically case insensitive, and also special characters are ignored. These are all equivalent matches.
All right.
What was
So
the other
the next one, I guess, also gets answered. Does capitalization matter? As John Paul just shared, it's case insensitive, so no, it won't really matter.
It is
All right,
case
so
insensitive. And I remember the other question was spaces. The way that the spaces are treated is if you put extra spaces at the beginning, it's going to strip the spaces off, and same thing with at the end. So here I'm just typing an arbitrary number of spaces. Imagine the spaces are all being deleted and the computer is treating this as a match. Now, excellent question, whoever asked, what about multiple spaces? What we see here is that multiple spaces are actually read as if they are multiple spaces. So here, right, we have word, space, word, 1, 2. And here, if we put word, space, word, that is going to be considered different. It is really a character by character match as you go down the characters that make up your keyword or your key phrase.
all right. So the next one is, what about special characters?
Special characters, like we talked about before, I think we mean accented characters here. So you simply imagine that the accent is gone from the letter. So here,
like, let's say, hash sign or at the rate signs, those special characters.
like these kind of special characters.
Yes, an at the rate or in a pound sign, that hash sign.
And this.
Yes.
So these as well need to be a straight string match. They're treated like other characters. You can see, like, if we put spaces in front of them, the spaces get trimmed off. If we use accented characters within here, that's treated like we talked about before. But otherwise, if you wanted to add like hashtag ready or whatever like this, that is going to be a different string than ready. That's actually a pretty good piece of feedback that we might want to consider, that some users might kind of arbitrarily put a hashtag there, like, and we might want to read that as being equivalent to this. But as you can see from my demo here, these are presently interpreted as two different strings. Does that answer the question?
I hope it does. So
if you still have questions, this was a great question, by the way. If you still have questions, please raise your hand and we can come back to look at this again.
All right, so there's a feedback. It's not much of a question, but yeah, of course, we'll take a note of this. And so we need different users to receive different keyword alert set notifications. None of them are moderators. Moderation is performed by another area.
Okay. Can you jot down that feedback, please,
Yeah.
and we'll follow up on that afterwards? Okay,
I'm taking a note of that.
Okay, great.
So let's move back to demo, and then we'll take questions again.
Let's move back to demo, and we'll take questions again after. Next thing that I would like to show is we've already sort of played around with editing a keyword set. So let's create a new one. So down here at the bottom, we have this button, this control here that says new keyword set. So this is what you click to create a new keyword set. I'm going to create a set of my keywords. And I'm going to type these in one by one, and you're going to see as I type them in the keyword matching functionality in action. So I've chosen some keywords here that will show off this matching. So the first keyword that we put in is definite. I just hit enter there to add the keyword. All right, the next keyword that we want to add is carriage. Now we have a keyword set that has 2 words in it, definite and carriage. I'm going to start adding another keyword, which is define, and you're going to see the keyword matching in action. So I type D. It notices that I am matching already some of the keywords that I have in my set. And as I continue to type the keyword define, you'll see that we keep this match up until we no longer match. And as soon as I type a new word, that's when I have the option to add my new keyword that is not already in my set. So I just hit enter, and there we go. Now we have a second keyword different from the first one that we entered. Let's put in a 4th keyword, carrot. So here again, we match until we no longer match. And then once we no longer match, we have the option to add the new keyword. And the reason that this works like this is because, you know, if you have 200 keywords, you may not notice that somewhere down here you've already entered a keyword. And so by doing this, by matching the keywords, you can see that as you start typing that you've already entered a keyword, you've already entered a variation of a keyword. So it keeps you from getting an error when you if you were to try to enter the same keyword twice. So we're going to put in another keyword here, defenestrate. And we're going to add caramel and caraway, and you'll see that these match to carrot and carriage until we no longer match. Caramel, caraway. So here we match with caramel until we no longer match. Cart. This works backwards as well, right? So if you back up, it'll match you again. We're going to go with a new word. Last but not least. So now here we have a keyword set of 9 keywords. And we've already looked at what happens when you try to add the same keyword twice. If we try to go with cart, this button's going to be grayed out. The enter key is going to not respond. And I don't have the option to add this keyword. One thing I noticed earlier on is that I clicked this X thinking that it would delete this, this here, but that's not actually what it does. You want to delete there. If you do like this, and if you think, okay, I'm going to delete this string by clicking this X, what I actually just did was delete the keyword from the set. So just be aware of that. It's not a problem to add it back in, but I noticed that even I clicked this button during our demo. So just one thing to be aware of. And then, yeah, so this is our keyword set with 9 keywords. And you can see here we have 9 out of a total number of 200. Do we need any more explanation on this? I'll just show again the accented character matching. So C-A-R-T with a angstrom on the A is going to come up as a match with cart. And then again with define, right? Just like this. And this is for French or Spanish customers, students who don't always want to put the accents when they're typing on a little phone. Whether the accents are there or not, you'll still get a keyword match. And now we will save the keyword set. Pardon me. Now, before we stop for questions, I would like to just mention one important point and a potential gotcha. And that is that a keyword alert is not on by default. So you can see here, this is my keyword set number 2. I'm going to delete this one. I should have deleted this before just for clarity, but this is the one that I just created. You can see it here. These are the keywords we just added. Now, notice that when we created that, we came back here and this toggle was off. This is the important point. A keyword alert is not on by default. You need to turn it on. So if you just come in here and create a new keyword set, you need to do an additional step before you start to actually receive the alerts. And that extra step is to turn this on. So now this is on. The alert is on, and I will now start receiving alerts. If any student were to type in a channel, one of these words, if I was the owner or the moderator of that channel, I would get an alert. Now, this would be a good time to stop and ask if there are any questions. Are there any questions?
I see no new questions.
No new questions. Okay, great. So let's move on and let's look at, now that we have created a new community keyword alert, if someone makes a post using one of our keywords, what happens? So let's go to the community and check this out. There are 2 important points here. The first important point is that alerts are sent to moderators and channel owners. Actually, I guess this is just one point. 2 sides of one point. Alerts are sent to moderators and channel owners. Alerts are not sent to community managers by default. So I'm going to say that again. You might think that the community manager is the one who will receive the keyword alerts. But if you stop and think about that, anyone with the community manager permission would quickly be overwhelmed with emails from all the community channels because they're community manager for all channels. So anytime a person made a post with a keyword in any channel, the community manager would be getting an alert, and they would be getting quickly more alerts than were useful. And a community manager would be getting emails from all the channels without being able to filter them down. So we decided that moderators and channel owners will receive alerts. Community managers will not. If a community manager wants to receive alerts for a channel, they need to join a channel and promote themselves to moderator or owner. And then, because they are the moderator or the owner of that channel, then they're going to start to get the alerts. The community manager needs to join and promote in every channel that they want to receive notifications for. Now would be a good time to also check and make sure that there are no questions about this important point. Again, alerts are sent to moderators and to channel owners, but they are not sent to community managers unless the community manager goes and makes themselves a moderator or an owner. Are there any questions about this?
No questions yet. I guess we can proceed.
Okay, let's keep an eye open for questions, because again, this is an important point. If you have a question, please ask. I'm going to move on in the meantime and continue with our demo. This is the campus community, and we're going to look at a channel which I have called Channel A. I have a user who is the owner of this channel, so I'll show you the owners of this channel by viewing the members. And you can see here that this channel has one owner. The owner's name is John Paul Alert Receiver. So this is the person who's going to receive the alerts. And as you can see here, this is the user's email address. I'll show you the inbox for this user in a moment. This is the user who's going to be receiving the alerts. So now I have another user. Just bear with me while I get you a view of my phone here. So that is, this is my phone, and this is my test school. And this is my test user, my Android user. So I'm logged in as an app user, as if I was a student who had an Android phone. This is the phone. So I'm going to make a post in my channel A as if I was an app user, and I'm going to use a color word. So I'm going to just post the word yellow, but imagine here that this was a word like stress or procrastination or anxious or whatever you like. You can really set up any keywords that you want. And the use of this feature is really limited only by your imagination. Like we've been showing here a lot of examples with words like anxious, stress, negative words. They don't have to be negative words. You could set up positive words. You could set up any words that you want in your own keyword sets, and you will receive alerts if people are talking about those subjects. So now that I have made my post, let's go and see this user's, let's go and see the inbox of the alert receiver. So we're going to look at the inbox of an owner or moderator. And this is the inbox of my imaginary channel owner. Here we have some alerts that I've already received as I was looking at this earlier today. It takes a few moments. It takes about 2 to 5 minutes. Yeah, there you go. It takes about 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes at the most for an alert to arrive. We just watched this one arrive just now. So as you can see over here, I made a post of the word yellow at 1:08. And it has arrived at 08. The reason that this says 03 and this says 01 is because I am in Edmonton, Alberta, which is in Mountain Time. So whereas my school is in Eastern Time. So when you receive these alerts, you're going to receive the alerts in your school's time zone. So if you are sitting in front of your computer and it's 3:08 p.m., regardless of what time it is where the person makes the post, you're going to get an alert telling you that the post was made at 3:08. Let's look at this message. So this is the email alert itself. This is what your channel owner is going to receive. And let's now look at the alert email. Are there any questions before we kind of dive into this next piece here?
Not yet.
Okay, let's press on. This is the email alert itself. This is the email. And you can see it comes from no reply. The alert gives the name of the user who made the post. So remember, we were pretending that I was an Android user with an Android phone. This is my username, Android. It gives the time in the school's time zone. It gives the word that triggered the alert, and it gives the channel name in which the alert was triggered. And there is also a link to open the post. So by clicking this button here, you can shortcut directly to the post in question. So by clicking that view post button here, open post, it's going to take me directly to this post that I made. And so you as a channel owner or channel moderator can respond, with whatever you want. So if someone says I'm feeling stressed, you can say, here are some resources having to do with stress. I can send you some links. I can send you some phone numbers if you need to call, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the intention here. I want to point out the unsubscribe link. To stop receiving these alerts, click here to modify your notification settings. So I'm going to click this and we'll see what happens. This means essentially turn off my notifications. So when I click this, you're going to see that we are taken to a page showing my notification settings. And you can see here that I have just turned my alerts off by clicking that unsubscribe link. This is a blanket on-off switch. My user here, my alert receiver, is not going to receive any emails for any keywords for any channels if this is off, like a no spam switch. If I turn this on, I will start receiving my alerts again based on what keywords alerts are on or off and what posts were made in the community containing those keywords. I want to point out as well that there is a similar, page within Campus Cloud. Here we are. If you come to your account settings, you can come to change, your email notifications. And this is the same switch that we were talking about before. So my user now, John Paul, my test user, is not going to receive any alerts for any keywords in any channel. Blanket off or on. Are there questions about this?
Not so far.
It's important to be aware of these different settings because there are a few ways to turn off the alerts. So if you discover or if you hear that one of your colleagues is not receiving their alerts, this is one thing to check here. Check their account settings. Make sure that they are set up to receive alerts. And also another thing to check would be to check and make sure that the alert is on. Because it can get turned off. And in that case, obviously you wouldn't receive the alerts as you expect them. So that's just a couple of places to check if ever you are called to troubleshoot this feature. I'm going to show one more piece here, and that is the keyword filter. So you are familiar already with the filter menu. You can filter by users, show me only the posts made by certain users. You can filter by status, show me only posts that other users have reported. You can filter by date, show me posts and comments within a specific date range. You can now also filter by keyword sets. So when we click on this menu item here, you can see these are the 3 keyword sets that we set up with our alerts. And I can filter based on these keywords. So what I'm going to say here by clicking this is show me only posts and comments that include words within the keyword set called colors. And you can see here the entire channel of student feed is filtered down so that we see only posts containing names of colors, because I have defined those colors in my keyword set here. We had some keywords having to do with exam time. Has anyone been talking about that in the student feed? Doesn't appear that they have been. And what about my testing keywords? Let's see. No posts there either. All right, well, let's look over here where there is a bit more for us to chew on. Channel A. Here we can see that there have been, people talking about the stuff that we want to monitor. So let's check and see. Let's filter out everything that is, show me only the posts containing words within this colors set. Here we go. So these are all the posts containing blue, yellow, purple, blue. And these can be combined together, so we can add in my other keywords. If we scroll down a bit, these can be combined with other filters. For example, by going like this. Show me posts only within this date range. We're going to lose the one at the bottom from March 10. So here we are combining a date range filter along with a keyword sets filter. And of course, search works within this as well. So like we can go, show me these colors, and then search for favorite. And it's going to further reduce our list of results. So using filters, using search, combining filters, you can really zoom in and find a specific post that you're looking for. You can find posts by a specific user or within a specific date range. So these are the tools that you have to sort of, now that you know people are talking about certain things within community, these are the ways that you can go and find what people are talking about. And remember as well that you always have the option when an alert is triggered to jump directly to the post that triggered that alert. Here you can kind of get the, you can see all the posts that triggered that keyword alert, for example. Okay, one thing to note here is who can use the keyword filter in community? So who has access to this menu item here? The answer to that question is community managers, not owners, not moderators. So you need to have the community manager permission in order to be able to do this kind of advanced filtration. And just to sort of show what community manager looks like in case anyone is not clear. If you have, so imagine here I'm creating a new team member. If I check this box, then my new user is going to be a community manager, meaning that they're going to be able to see the keyword set filter here. If you are just an owner or just a moderator and you do not have that permission that I just checked and showed you, this here is going to be absent from the menu. So who can use the keyword filter? Community managers. Are there any questions about this?
Yeah, there was, but I guess it just got answered.
Just got answered. Okay. All right. So let's talk about permissions and access. We talked about this a little before. Let's just review. Community managers have access to community keyword alerts. So this part here, this part, if you are a community manager, you will see this section. If you are not a community manager, this part will be hidden from you. If you have the community manager permission, you can create new keyword alerts. You can edit them by modifying keywords, and you can also use the keyword set filter like we just talked about. On the other hand, as we mentioned before, channel owners and channel moderators are the ones that actually receive the emails, that actually receive the alerts. So again, if you are a community manager and you want to start receiving the alerts for a channel, then go to a channel, join it, view the member list, promote yourself to owner or moderator of that channel, and that will engage the alerts for you as well. Are there any questions?
A quick one, is the response strictly to the user or is the response public?
The response, so if we come here, for example, and if we, so if we come here, for example, and we click open post, let's just do this again. Give it a second to load. The long and the short of it is that this is the campus community, just a different view for it. So if we make a response here, it is a post in the community. It is a post in channel A. It will be visible to all students who are members of channel A and who browse through this channel. This is not a private message that's sent directly to this user. This is a post in a channel. And then the same thing is true if we, filter down here like this. And then if we, if we filter down like this, and if we then respond, again, we are responding by posting in the channel, so it's visible to all users. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so in short, the answer is yes, it's a public response.
Public
response. All the users in that channel can read the response as well.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for saying it so succinctly. Was there another question, Kabir?
Not now. I believe we only have, let's say, around 7 minutes left.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
So,
you already mentioned which of our customers will get this feature. You mentioned.
I'll mention it again. I think I forgot to actually say that at the beginning, but all the customers who have Ready Basic 1.0 will have access to this feature. And even if you don't have Ready 1.0, but let's say Mental Health Plus, then you'll also have access to this feature.
Okay, great. Thank you. That was the one point that I wanted to cover off before we finish the demo. This is actually the end of our demo. This is the community keyword alerts feature in total. So what we have seen here is how to turn alerts on and off, how to edit them, how to create a new alert, how keywords work within an alert. We've seen what happens when a user makes a post containing one of those keywords. We have looked at the email, looked at the alert itself, and we have kind of followed that through to see what you might do as a channel owner or moderator when you get an email like that. So this is basically our demo now, wrapped up now. There is one other thing that I wanted to show before we kind of
John Paul, there's a follow-up question. So let's take that one, and then we can move to the next section, or we can actually open the floor for questions in general. So how do we make it private? I guess she's referring to the response question. How do we make it private if it has to do with mental health?
You can use our notification feature to send a response directly to students. Here, for example, you could take this user's name and you could come here to notify, and you could create an announcement and send directly to this user, like so. And now if you type a message here, you can send it from, for example, if it is a mental health situation, you could have a service that would then send a message like this. And this would go directly to this one student only.
This is useful. Thank you, Christina, for asking that question. I guess many might need that when it comes to mental health. So this is useful.
That is a really good point. Yeah, thank you. Were there other questions?
Not at this point. I guess if you have any more questions, please let us know. But in the meantime, John Paul, maybe you can briefly share about the Spanish language support.
Sure, I would be happy to. Let me show you, please, our where did it go? Where did my Firefox window go? Here we go. Yes. We have added multi-language support to Campus Cloud. Previously, Campus Cloud was in English or French. Now we have added Spanish. Campus Cloud will now work in Spanish. The way that you get Campus Cloud to work in Spanish is by setting your browser preferences to Spanish. Whatever English, French, or Spanish that you choose in your browser will be the language that Campus Cloud displays in. So here I'm using a different browser, Firefox. I have set the language of this browser to be Spanish. And as you can see, Campus Cloud is now in Spanish. All of the major features are set up to work in Spanish. You can see here the entire user interface is in Spanish. And this is true if you go through, all of the major flows will all work in Spanish. Your school will be designated English, French, or Spanish within our system. And any emails that are sent to users, such as reminders, alerts, etc., those emails will go in the language that your school is designated. And then for you as an admin, Campus Cloud will be presented in the language that you choose in your browser settings here. And for students, the mobile app will be displayed in the language that they choose in their phone settings. So it actually takes a few moments to change a phone into Spanish, but I'll do that now, and maybe we'll have a chance in the last couple of minutes for me to just quickly show you that the app appears in Spanish. But the long and the short of it is that if a user sets their phone to Spanish, they're going to see the Campus app in Spanish. And that is basically Spanish language support in a nutshell. I'm just choosing Spanish on my phone here. And if we manage to get this in before 3:30, I'll bring my this guy up on the screen again, and you'll be able to see that we are changing our language to Spanish. I feel my Spanish has gotten better in the last couple of weeks. This is Spanish language support in a nutshell. As you can see, it's going to think for a little bit here, but when it comes back, my phone's going to be in Spanish. If it would be so kind as to display. Anyways, we're going to come up on time here, but I ask you to take my word for it that indeed this does appear in Spanish.
Yeah, I believe we're on time.
That's
I
right.
see no open questions, but in case if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Maybe speak to your campus consultant, or write to us on info@readyeducation.com or support@readyeducation.com. We are always available and happy to help. And I believe, with this, John Paul, with your permission, maybe we can, wrap up our today's session. And, let me thank all of you for being with us and for your time. Hopefully, we'll see you in our next release webinar. John Paul, if you have anything to say.
I just wanted to say thanks, Kabir. It's been a pleasure to demo this to our customers. I hope to see you all again for our next training session. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone. See you again.
Bye-bye.